The Heat looking to go up 2-0 over the Hornets. And early on, D-Wade finds Whiteside. You notice something on this play.
Yeah, you look at Hassan Whiteside when he rolls hard to the basket, and the rotator is a guard on the back line or a wing on the back line. It's just too much athleticism, and Whiteside was terrific tonight on the offensive end.
Perfect from the field, in fact. And, well, the Heat seemed almost perfect from the field, specifically in the second quarter, red hot.
Not a better offensive team in the playoffs thus far. And that would normally be blasphemy if we're saying it instead of the Golden State Warriors. But how good have the Heat been here through the first couple games of the playoffs? You see Goran Dragic going behind the screen on him. Kemba Walker does 2 times in a row. And Goran's all fired up down in South Beach.
You got to give a lot of credit to Eric Spoelstra. Losing your best player, arguably your most productive player, and Chris Bosh, and really just retooling this offense. They had 72 points on 74.4% from the field in the first half, franchise playoff records, and they hit their last 10 shots of the half. And then Wade, a little flashback and the block here on Kemba Walker.
Yeah, we're used to seeing that from Dwayne Wade, one of the best small men in terms of blocking shots in NBA history. His athleticism has been on full display.
And then it's got worse for the Hornets as Nicholas Batum goes down with an ankle injury. He did not return.
Yeah, they can ill afford to lose his services. When you look at Nicholas Batum and the season he's had in Charlotte, ability to knock down the three-point shot, his size and length as a wing defender, that's going to be tough if they're out without him for a long time.
And the second leading scorer on the team as well. Meanwhile, Wade, team high 28 points, 8 assists as the Heat win it 115-103. The first time winning consecutive postseason games since 2014 Eastern Conference Finals. Whiteside, 17 points, franchise playoff record, 8 of 8 from the field, his most attempts without a miss in his career. D-Wade, 28 points, his most points in a playoff game since Game 5 of the 2014 Eastern Conference Semis. Although the Heat have been hot, D-Wade knows they can't let up against this team.
We got lucky. They missed some. You know, that team is all year, especially second half of the season, they've been knocking down shots. We got to expect that they're going to make half of those and not more when we get to Charlotte. So we got to be able to make the adjustments. We know it's going to be some close games in this series both ways. It's 2 good teams. So, you know, we're trying to protect home floor, and we had to do whatever we had to do today to get a win.
You got to stay with the game plan because otherwise that's when Wade really got going. You got to stay disciplined to the plan. This knee-jerk thing about something's going to change, they're running this stuff that we're having trouble guarding. It's not all these great ideas or things that have to change or that this plan is terribly wrong. Sometimes the other team just makes shots, okay? So that's really what's going on.
So Steve Clifford saying he's not going to change anything despite the Heat having the 2 most efficient offensive performances of this postseason after scoring 1.43 points per possession in Game 1, more than any team in any game this season. They scored nearly 2 points per possession in tonight's second quarter before cooling off after halftime. Shooting percentage and 3-point shooting very similar in both games. So, Kara, should the Hornets change their game plan?
You know, they shouldn't change their game plan because this is what they're used to. This is how they've played all year, and they've been a solid defensive team. You know, the adjustments that Steve Clifford was talking about, the adjustments are take care of your man, take care of your own. Don't let D-Wade continually get in the paint. Don't let Miami continually get in the paint. But you look at Miami, and after Game 1, you reference how they had a historic number in terms of points per possession. I thought, well, they can't do that again. They're not going to do it again. And what do they do in Game 2? They do it better in the first half. So I think if you're Steve Clifford, you're thinking they're not going to do it 3 games in a row. If Miami cools down just a bit, you know, their performance has overshadowed Charlotte's performance. Charlotte has played very well in these first 2 games on the offensive end. It's just their defense has been a little too porous.
And they're usually a good three-point shooting team. They were 1 of 16 from beyond the arc on Wednesday. So the Heat got to miss, and the Hornets, they have to make eventually. So something's got to give.